Well, we have finally reached it. After months of battle, even during a pandemic and everything, and some uncertainty here. But there's one thing we learned from this pandemic this year, in 2020 and 2021. The NFL gives zero fucks about the pandemic. Because at the end of the day, not even the goddamn coronavirus can stop the NFL from pushing their agenda and their great NFL master plan. And their great master plan will be taking place in this year's Super Bowl. So we had 14 teams to battle it out in the postseason this year, and now we are down to the final two for Super Bowl 55 to decide who will take battle and take home the 55th Lombardi trophy down in Tampa Bay, Florida. Of course, this year's Super Bowl will be a little bit different with a reduced capacity because of how this pandemic does. But at the end of the day, the shield stops for nothing. The NFL still don't give a fuck. They stop for nothing. Nothing stops them from the agenda. So anyway, let's go through Super Bowl 55, the preview. Two teams take battle, representing the AFC and the NFC. Let's start this off. Hailing first from the AFC. Oh, what a shocker. The Chiefs are representing the AFC once again. What a shocker. Said nobody ever. I mean, I think this was no surprise that the Chiefs were going to be here on the AFC side. I think everybody and their mothers predicted this. Even their grandmothers, too, and their grandmothers. And yeah, you get the point. And honestly, you look at this Kansas City Chiefs squad this year, it's literally the same team as last year. They just added on to it. So, of course, for the Chiefs, pretty easy road for them to get back here. So, for the Chiefs, at quarterback, of course, you have Stat Patrick Mahomes, who, of course, in the offseason signed a mega 10-year extension for $500 million. And so far this year, he has proven that he is worth every dollar of it so far. I still think the Chiefs are fucking idiots for overpaying the shit out of him. Have fun with that contract in a couple years when the Grim Reaper known as Cap Hell comes to bite you. But of course, for the Chiefs, though, at running back, they have a carousel at running back. Mainly their main head horse is Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who has really helped fill the void that was left open from Kareem Hunt, as the Chiefs now have a running back in the backfield. They even have Le'Veon Bell, too, who drifted away from that butt fumble known as the Jets. He isn't quite the same player he used to be, but he's still serviceable to an extent. But Bell, though, he is questionable for this game with a knee injury. At receiver, a lot of weapons for Mahomes to choose from. You mainly got names like Sammy Watkins, who's questionable with a calf injury for the Super Bowl. But they have names like Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, and Ricky Seats-Jones. And of course, the defense, some playmakers on that defense. On the edge, you got names like Frank Clark and Alex Okafor. At defensive tackle, names like Chris Jones and Derek Neady. At linebackers, you got Damian Wilson on the outside. The Chiefs will be without Willie Gay, as he is out for this game with a knee injury. But in the middle of this, you have Anthony Hitchens to hold down the middle. But for the defense, secondary playmakers for sure. They have DeAndre Baker, who's out with a leg injury. But they have other names like Charvarius Ward, Brashad Breeland. At the corners, the safeties, you have Juwan Thornhill and the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. So the Chiefs have been a rock-solid team. Of course, the Chiefs being the number one offense in the league. Number one in the passing game and 16th running the ball. The Chiefs' defense is ranked top 15, so mid-pack. 14th against the pass, 21st against the run. So they have had issues stopping the run in the past. But of course, the Chiefs, their coaching staff remains the same pieces as before. You have offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy, who will be staying with the Chiefs for the foreseeable future, as he shockingly did not even get a head coaching job. Not even from that shit show, the Houston Texans. To be perfectly honest, I don't blame Bieniemy for not wanting to go to the Texans. That team is a fucking shithole right now. His career would fucking die in Houston. And of course, the defensive coordinator, who has Steve Spagnuolo. And of course, we all know about the head coach, Andy Reid. Andy Reid, of course, last year got the Super Bowl win, finally ended his long legacy of failure. And now the question for Andy Reid is very simple. What do you do after ending a legacy of failure? It's very simple what you do. You win another Super Bowl. Become a dynasty. Form a dynasty. It's crazy. We killed off the New England Patriot Empire. The evil empire died, only for a new evil empire to be built on its remains. Congratulations, Chiefs. You are officially the new Patriots. You have now become what you hated and what you were trying to dethrone for years. All it took really was Tom Brady to leave your division, to leave the AFC. But for the Chiefs to go back-to-back, there will be a familiar foe in their wake. Because for the Chiefs, they face a familiar foe from the AFC that went to the NFC. Because hailing from the NFC. I'll be honest here. I didn't think Tampa Bay was actually going to make it that far. I mean, at the beginning of the postseason, this team was under one expectation. They were either boom or bust. And guess what path they went? Normally in this situation, a boom or bust team always ends up being a bust and a disappointment. And yes, remember what I said at the start of the year, that Tampa Bay was going to be the biggest disappointment this season? And that Tom Brady going to Tampa Bay was going to end up being like when Michael Jordan went to the Wizards? Well, to say that both of those predictions didn't age well would be a massive understatement here. If I had $1 for every comment in that fucking Detroit Lions schedule prediction about what I said about Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, if I had $1 for every one of them comment that said it didn't age well, I would be a millionaire by now. But yeah, it's crazy to think. Tampa Bay. And with Tampa Bay being here, Tampa Bay also becomes the first team in NFL history to play the Super Bowl in their home stadium. So for Tampa Bay, this is effectively a home game. And they had 3 road games to get it done. So of course for Tampa Bay at quarterback, of course you have the GOAT, Tom Brady. And of course Brady, of course, I did not think Brady was going to have this good of a season. A bounce back year. Especially with Brady coming off arguably the worst year of his career last year in New England. He comes to Tampa Bay and it seems like he took 10 years off to become great again. I'm wondering what kind of deal he made with the devil or what kind of witchcraft voodoo magic he has, but I want some of that shit. But yeah, and with Brady's strong season this year, he also kills some argument about him being a system quarterback or some shit like that I've been hearing about. So yeah, he killed that meme off. But of course, for the Buccaneers, they have a sway of running backs in rotation. They got the main rotation of Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette. They also have LaShawn McCoy, who's somewhere in there too. So Shady gets another shot at the Super Bowl. Of course, for the receiving weapons, they got names. Tyler Johnson, Scotty Miller, Chris Godwin, and Mike Evans. And of course, you also got the Rob Gronkowski. And so far for Gronkowski, he actually isn't injury prone like he was the last couple years in New England. So it seemed like him taking a year off was what he needed to get healthy again. And he's been back to form again. Interesting. And of course, the one thing that really got the Buccaneers up and running, of course, was the acquisition of the diva, Antonio Brown. We will not speak any further about him. Fuck that clown. Fuck Antonio Brown. Fuck that piece of shit. But of course, on the defense, a lot of playmakers on the D-line. Names like William Goldston and Vita Vea. And of course, the main anchor of Ndamukong Suh. And of course, that linebacking core on the outside, you have names like Shaquille Barrett and Jason Pierre-Paul. And of course, the linebacking core in the middle, anchored by Lavonte David and Devin White. You know, Devin White had a very struggling rookie season, but he has really had a breakout year and has not become a victim of that sophomore slump. And of course, the secondary, a lot of names. The corners of Carlton David and Jamel Dean. And of course, in the secondary, I also mention that Mike Evans is questionable for this game with a knee injury. Pierre-Paul is questionable with a knee injury. Lavonte David is also questionable with a hamstring injury. But in the secondary, you have names like Jordan Whitehead. And the rookie, Antoine Winfield Jr., is questionable for this game with an ankle injury. I think all of them are going to play, especially when it's the biggest game of the year. So, of course, on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this year, they were the... Let's check the ranks. So, they were the number 11th ranked offense, second in the passing game, tied for 28th in the run game. But when Brady's back to form and throwing at an elite level, you may not need a run game yet. But the run game has been good when necessary. Tampa Bay's defense is ranked top 10, ranked 9th. 21st against the pass, but they're the number 1 defense against the run. Their main issue is, though, that they keep giving up a lot of big plays. But, I mean, Tampa Bay, this is a very interesting team. Of course, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the coaching staff, you have the offensive coordinator in Byron Leftwich, and the defensive coordinator in Todd Bowles. And, of course, we have the head coach, Bruce Arians. Of course, Bruce Arians, a very good coach. You know, had a really good career with the Cardinals. He had some good teams with Arizona. The problem was he just could not get over that hump. And he takes a year off, comes to Tampa Bay, and now he has a chance to win the Lombardi. Of course, he's no stranger. He won a Lombardi trophy with the Steelers a long time ago. But now he has a chance to add to it. But you look at the Buccaneers this year. The Buccaneers are an interesting team. I mean, they're the 4th wild card. The Buccaneers are trying to become the 4th team in NFL, the 4th wild card team in NFL history to win at this Super Bowl. And it's in their own stadium. I mean, with the way they've always been the last couple years, they've always been close, but they were always missing something to get over that hump. Like they had some pieces there, but if you told me that that they need a QB to get over the hump, that was crazy. That they only needed a QB to get over. So it seems like for Tampa Bay, it seemed like Jameis Winston was holding them back. Because Winston couldn't stop turning the ball over all the fucking time. And just look at how Brady has done this year. The fact that Tom Brady, at 43 years old in his 10th Super Bowl, this is his 10th Super Bowl, at age 43, Tom Brady was able to come into a new team, a new offense, and a new playbook with no OTAs, no preseason, no player minicamp, a very limited training camp. And Brady was able to carry this team straight to the Super Bowl in 1 year. Like, this is not just a statement year for Tom Brady. Brady wants to join the all-time great, wants to become one of the greatest sports, or a great sports icon. You know, when you think of great sports icons, you think of names like Babe Ruth. You think of Wayne Gretzky. You think of Michael Jordan. Tom Brady wants to join that conversation. Hell, you look at NASCAR. Well, NASCAR's had a number of them. You look at names like Richard Petty. You look at Dale Earnhardt. You look at Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson. Tom Brady is in a class of his own. And I'll say this. A 7th Super Bowl for Tom Brady. If Brady wins the Super Bowl this year with the Buccaneers, then Tom Brady is easily the undisputed GOAT of the NFL. He is easily the GOAT, no question about it. I mean, he's already the GOAT to begin with. But this Super Bowl, it would cement it once and for all. There would be no more debate. It would be an easy shoo-in. But yeah. So anyway, the two combatants are set in Tampa Bay. The Chiefs enter as the 3.5-point favorites for this game. And for this game, regardless of who wins, Pittsburgh, the biggest loser will be the Pittsburgh Steelers no matter what. Because the Steelers have to either watch their former running back, Le'Veon Bell, get a Super Bowl with another team, or they have to watch their former receiver, Antonio Brown, get a reign with another team. So no matter who wins, Pittsburgh loses either way. So for the Steelers, this is year fuck 2020 edition. So of course, Tom Brady, will Brady cement himself as the undisputed GOAT of the NFL? Or is this officially Patrick Mahomes' world? And we're all living in it. Somewhere in all of this, Pittsburgh fans want to commit suicide en masse and be placed on suicide watch. You know, this is a very interesting Super Bowl. I mean, you got two top QBs, the two fastest QBs to get the ball out quickly. Like, this is a Super Bowl matchup I think a lot of people want to see in Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes. So this is going to be a must-watch matchup for sure. You know, it could go either way. You can make a solid argument for Brady, you can make a solid argument for Mahomes. You know, this is a very interesting Super Bowl. But I mean, but I've been looking at everything, you know, it's funny that Tampa Bay is hosting a Super Bowl in a year where that home field advantage has meant jack shit. But as soon as I say that, it's going to start to mean something for sure. But I've been looking at a trend here. And the trend is that the last 4 odd-number Super Bowls have been won by one QB. And that QB happens to be playing in this game. So I'm looking at all of this, though. And I'm going to say here, you know, the fact that Patrick Mahomes hasn't beat Brady in a big-time game yet in his career. And you know what? We learned one lesson here. You can never doubt Tom Brady in the postseason. So with that being said, I'm going to go on and I'm going to go for it. I'm taking Tampa Bay to win Super Bowl 55. And I got Brady getting his 7th ring. I got Tampa Bay. I'm going to make this simple to Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes thinks he's the man. He ain't the man yet until he beats Brady in the biggest game when it matters the most. So for Patrick Mahomes, you want to be the man in the NFL? As the great Ric Flair once said, to beat a man, you gotta beat the man first. And Patrick Mahomes, he may have won 2 matchups against Brady already, but he hasn't beat Brady when it mattered the most. The one time that Brady and Mahomes have met in the postseason, Brady won that game in Mahomes' backyard in Kansas City 2 years ago in the AFC title game. And yeah, Brady has won the last 4 Super Bowls that have ended he's won the last 4 odd-number Super Bowls. Super Bowl 49. No, he's won the last 3 odd-number Super Bowls, correction. Well, Super Bowl 49, Super Bowl 51, Super Bowl 53. And if Brady wins it here, it'd be the 4th straight odd-number Super Bowl that Brady has won. And you know what? We learned one thing here. You can't doubt Tom Brady in these big games. So yeah, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go Tom Brady to shut his haters up once and for all and prove he's the undisputed GOAT in the NFL. But yeah, that's my Super Bowl prediction. I got Tampa Bay taking Super Bowl 55. And of course, the halftime show is going to be interesting with the Weeknd doing the halftime show. That should be a good halftime show for sure. At least the NFL is now starting to get in touch with today's society and today's social media. So there's a plus there. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for me. Good luck to all the Chiefs and Buccaneer fans. May the best team win. But yeah, that's all I got to say. Peace out.